Hello, everyone, and welcome. Many beautiful blessings to you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the frequencies that are moving through the planet right now and some of the things that I'm picking up on. If you are experiencing a feeling, a deep intuitive knowing around a part of you that is allowing yourself to compromise yourself in some ways. And probably that compromise also is impacting your soul alignment, your spirit. But there's a part of you where your boundary is being challenged. And this could be the moment where this is the time to really bring your energy back in, to really go through and seal up any holes where the energy might be leaking. This new moon in Pisces, it brings up a quality of being able to correct our spiritual alignment. Opposite of Pisces is Virgo, and Virgo is all about precision and alignment. And often the polarities of the planets are sort of the answers to whatever the issues are, right? The other planet kind of has the thing that can help us to solve things. So if you look to Virgo, you look to structure and stability, planning, processes, like having a process, having a path, having some containment. Whereas Pisces is all about no containment, expansion and stretching and opening. And if we can channel that opening towards the divine, right, by bringing in the structure of our spiritual practices, the things that will help us to create the energy and create the patterns to ascend towards that higher spiritual alignment, then this would be a very powerful turning point for those of us that do feel that our energy is maybe leaking out into some spaces that are no longer serving us. Every time we put a practice into play, we are essentially uplinking to the frequency of that practice. So if I am doing a morning sadhana, a morning ritual that is going to access the divine, I'm uplinking to the divine. If I begin a mantra sadhana, I'm going to begin uplinking to the energy of whatever that mantra contains. And I'm going to start to bring that frequency into my being, all layers of my being, as well as the environment, as well as into all of my interactions. That frequency is going to be moving through me. So that in itself is an uplinking to a higher vibrational field. So we want to put these practices in place right now to help us not just seal the boundary, but to move the energy up. Whereas maybe the energy before was leaking out towards the sides, we want to draw that energy back in towards our center, and we want to start to bring the energy both into the earth and up to the heavens. And this is really showing us where we really need or should stop compromising. Stop compromising your spiritual values. Stop giving so much of your energy away. Stop thinking that things will change, even though they're not changing. Stop having that type of openness that's just kind of allowing and not really discerning for yourself what is actually good for you. Step into what will serve you. Step into the I need to take care of me type of energy field. This commitment, this devotion to our practices, especially at this time of year, it will give us the structure, it will give us the stability so that we can really step into the places that scare us in our own process of expansion. Because Pisces is that very expansive quality. It is very comfortable in those sort of unknown spaces of merging with the spirit, merging with the soul's potential. And sometimes when we begin to expand in these ways and the universe is expanding us, it can be really terrifying. It can be really scary. And we need something to hold on to. And if we don't have something positive to hold on to, a lot of times we step into a path of self-sabotage because the thing that is coming to us, the place in our life that wants to expand, it's scary to expand. It's scary to step into those spaces because it is the unknown. You are in the process of transforming. This is unknown, uncharted territory. By having those spiritual practices in place, having those rituals, having those acts of devotion day in and day out with a powerful intention, it's going to give us that structure. It's going to give us that safety belt to hold on to, because the spiritual practices, the nature of the practices is that they protect us, right? They protect us by bringing in a lot of consciousness and a lot of being able to see things as they're unfolding in life, so that we're aware of how we're moving through life, right? We're aware of the process as it's unfolding, as opposed to just being sort of thrown around by, the highs and lows, the waves of the universe. When we begin to understand the cycles of the season, the cycles of time, the cycles of space, the cycles of the planets, the cycles of our own physical body. When we begin to understand the cycles a bit more, we come to know that it's constant. We are constantly going through these cycles. So there is a constant process of up-leveling the spirit, constant process of ascension, and a constant process of releasing, letting go, struggling with the things that hold us back, the things that maybe bind us or attach us as we're really working to ascend through an awakening process. So it is constant. And I think there's a lot of making fun of it because we're constantly saying, set an intention. We're constantly saying, what do you want to release? What do you want to call in? And that's because we are constantly in a process that allows us to do this. It doesn't mean that your intentions aren't working or that you're not releasing things because you're still in a process of letting go. Our bodies, our beings, let's say, our beings and the layers of our being, we need to constantly be cleaning the system. It isn't as if you can just clean it one time and then it's good, for 3 or 4 years and then you clean it again. It's not like that. We have to constantly be cleaning the mind, constantly be cleaning the body, constantly be cleaning the psyche. So these cycles of time and space, all of the different cycles that we can study, it's going to give us a timeline of these specific energies that move through our very existence. And if we understand the pattern of those energies, we can start to recognize how to make the pattern better, how to upgrade the pattern so that it's a bit more efficient, that it's a bit more positive, it's moving in a positive direction. So yes, it's never-ending process of setting intentions, of setting good prayers, of calling in higher visions, of working to release the things that bind us, the things that hold us back or block us. It's constant. We also have Shiva Ratri, which is technically today. And I have actually been in India several times during Shiva Ratri. And every time it's always very magical, chaotic, beautiful, transformative. It's quite a powerful energy. And Shiva Ratri, it is the night of Shiva. And the way that it was explained to me, which of course in this tradition there could always be, 1,000 different stories around, what is the meaning, what is the legend. So the way that it was portrayed to me was that Shiva Ratri is the night of Shiva. This is the night that Shiva is sleeping. And so this means that you have the opportunity to get much closer to him. And then by getting closer to Shiva, you're essentially getting close to the guru. And that will bestow you with some type of power or some type of empowerment, let's say, to be able to be in his grace with such proximity. For me, this has always been a day to purify and a day to deeply challenge oneself. In India, in South India, in Kerala, where I was for a few Shiva Ratris, the protocol was that you would not sleep. You would stay up the entire night, no food. You stay up the entire night and you don't go to bed until the following sunset. And you just stay up in meditation. Sometimes it's taking place at the temple, and there are constant mantras that are being chanted. There are pujas that are happening every half hour, every hour. I find Shivaratri to be a wonderful reset. And I just think of Shiva as, the one that is dancing out of the ashes, the one that challenges us to just let go and surrender and trust that we need to let go. We need to surrender. It will be better if we do. And there is something there for us on the other side of whatever the transformational process is that we are going through or about to go through. Shiva is the divine yogi, right? He is the yoga master. And when I think about what yoga really is, because there are so many different ways of seeing it and defining it, I really feel like the ultimate yoga is being able to hold two experiences at the same time, two worlds of understanding. And so there's a balance of what is needed, both intellectually and spiritually. And I think one of my, constant goals is how to have this very devoted practice in honor of my connection to the divine and just wanting to cultivate that relationship with the spirit, equally having a very strong and steady grasp on the material world, on the physical world. The purification process is coming from the chanting of the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, and many, many different ways of saying, chanting, praising the names of Shiva. There are over 1,000 of them. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. It's 5 syllables representing the 5 elements: air, fire, water, earth, and ether. And so we're chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And this sound code, this mantra, this frequency is a purifier, bringing all of those elements into balance. The places within us that are out of balance, where we have too much fire, not enough water, not enough air, not enough earth, starting to bring those frequencies into a more balanced state. And this is a whole, 24-hour plus period of listening to this mantra, chanting this mantra, and really being a participant in that alchemical process. I'm feeling that this is the perfect moment to really shift gears and get ready for the spring equinox. Because wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely to just be a bit more centered by the time the equinox arrives? Whenever I would experience New Year's Eve, before I really found my spiritual community, I would fast leading up to New Year's Day because I wanted to feel really good on New Year's Day. I didn't want to begin the new diet on day one. I didn't want, to start in the new year. I wanted to arrive into the new year feeling my best, feeling my brightest, feeling 100% aligned in me. And this is the opportunity that we have with this Pisces new moon, Shivaratri energy that's going to be moving all across the planet this weekend. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to set the sequence up, set the patterns up that are going to help you to feel ultimately more centered, more clear about your direction in life, more clear about your mission in life, so that when we step into the spring equinox, which is a very powerful period of time, you can really reach for the thing that is going to make a true impact. Right now, you might just be in a little more of cleaning yourself up type of phase. Pisces is water, right? The deep waters. And this is a lot of our psyche, a lot of our soul. right? Piscean energy is a bit more soul-centered or soul-centric. I would say Scorpio is a bit more psychological, but it's the waters, so it's all in there. There are levels to it, there are layers to it. Ultimately, think about, meditate on how you can clean and care for your waters. How can you pray to the waters? How can you use water to help you to heal, to help you to purify, to clean yourself, keeping your emotional waters really clean, your emotional hygiene really clean, really clear. And if it's not clean, if it's not clear, if there's a lot of emotion, if there's a lot of entanglement, if there's a lot of pushing and pulling and resistance, again, this is an opportunity to face it and to take that action around, I want to clean this up. Like, what are the things that I need to do to get a hold on this so that it doesn't become such a destructive pattern that is going to lead me on a downward spiral of negativity. And this is another polarity aspect to Pisces, which is addiction, right? Which is getting so lost in the merging of boundaries, right? That we sometimes trade in the spirit, the spiritual path, the spiritual devotion for, really blurring the edges through drugs and alcohol and expanding our consciousness in that way, expanding our experiences in that way. But we know that a lot of those experiences are quite limiting, depending on what the substances are. So we want to advocate towards positive patterns, right? Patterns that are going to move us in a much more positive frequency and positive direction. And a lot of times that is practices, right? Physical disciplines, spiritual disciplines, meditative disciplines, so that we're really moving our soul in a much more positive direction. We have this opportunity. We always get a divine opportunity, a gift from the universe with every shift of the planetary system, with every shift in the stars, every shift through the planets. We do get this opportunity to really uplink. So let's take care to study these moments, to really advocate for what we need. Tune into you. What is it that you want to change? What is it that you want to call in? Does any of this resonate with you? If it doesn't, throw it out, move on. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My intention is to begin to release more of these intuitive feeds as the stars turn and as my awareness attaches on to those moments. Sending you a lot of love, many beautiful blessings.